breaking news coming in. The RJD MP Manoj Jha has decided to move privilege motion in Rajya Sabha against the Attorney General over the Rafale verdict. This comes after the Supreme Court had dismissed a batch of pleas that sought a court-monitored probe into the Rafale deal. The centre had filed an affidavit in the top court seeking correction in its judgment. The affidavit stated that the Supreme Court had misinterpreted some documents related to PAC and CAG. I'm joined by my colleague Meenakshi Bhanja over the phone line. Meenakshi, an important development in what has become a war of words between the opposition and the government on the Rafale deal. What we have in fact seen is that even yesterday the opposition had launched a scathing attack on the government, and now we are seeing the RJD MP, Mr. Manoj Jha, has decided to move a privilege motion.
Well, indeed, Sonama, this is turning out to be the unending saga of Rafale, even after the Supreme Court judgment. And the reason why this has happened is because formally now, by way of application/affidavit, there is acknowledgement on the Government of India's part that indeed there is a lapse in the judgment, which the Government of India is seeking correction in the top court. Now, what has caused this lapse? That's the big question which the opposition is latching onto. We have seen top opposition leaders, Congress leader, Congress President Rahul Gandhi, Sharad Pawar, to name a few, who have mounted a scathing attack on the government ahead of the winter session. And Tanama, we also know tomorrow, Monday, we are going to see about 70 press conferences, all addressed by senior BJP leaders across India. So clearly this is an issue where BJP wants to showcase the bona fides, and therefore it has already moved this application in the Supreme Court on its own, not waiting for the opposition or any other leader to seek a review in the Supreme Court, but moving this application on its own part is a showcasing of good intention or a bona fides on part of the government. But then, like you correctly referred to, there are larger questions here which merit a relook, and that is why yesterday we saw PAC chairperson Mallikarjun Kharge say that he is also looking to summon the Attorney General and also the CAG, and coming close on the heels, now we have this latest breaking input coming in where RJD MP Manoj Jha is going to move a privilege motion in Rajya Sabha against the Attorney General, because remember, it was the top law officer, Government of India Attorney General, who had led from the front while the Rafale issue was being debated and argued in the top court. So clearly this is so much more now, Tanama, than a war of words, because we have top opposition leaders on one hand who feel validated that their allegations have come true in the backdrop of the government's application yesterday in the Supreme Court, where the Government of India itself is seeking a correction of a factual inaccuracy.
That's right. It's a big story, and we'll be tracking the developments with you. Thank you for joining us with that update, Meenakshi. And of course, remember, the opposition has upped the ante on the Rafale issue, with AAP MP Sanjay Singh demanding that the Attorney General should answer questions in the House, while NCP leader Majid Memon has called the FOPA a contempt of court.
अभी जो बताया गया कि ये PAC के पास इसकी चर्चा हुई, मैं लगातार मीटिंग उपस्थित रहता है। गए 4 बरस में PAC का सदस्य हूँ। ये तो मामला 4-5 महीने के पहले का है। ऐसे बहुत हर वीक में एक मीटिंग होती है हमारी। एक भी राफेल के बारे में कोई भी मुद्दा PAC में आया नहीं।
It's very clear that the government has misled the Supreme Court, and that is why we are saying there is no other way except to constitute a JPC to find out the truth. And also why the government misled the Supreme Court and also needs to be investigated. That is why we think that the Parliament should summon the government's legal officer, the Attorney General, and ask them how a report which has to first come to the President of India by the CAG and then placed before the Parliament, discussed, and then finally it's adopted, how was all that circumvented? And the executive, that is the government, directly reports to the judiciary. The government is accountable to the legislature. Why was the legislature bypassed?